here in Hacker Square and in our community watching us live. And
well, joining me now from New Delhi is Pavan Duggal. He's the chairman of the International Commission on Cybersecurity Law and an advocate at the Supreme Court of India. Also in New Delhi is Madhu Kishwar. She's an academic and writer and the founder of the human rights organization Manushi. I thank you both for joining us here on the Newsmakers. Pavan Duggal, let me begin with you. Let me ask it in the most direct way possible. Is India's government mining the private information, the private data of its citizens?
Currently, the Indian government does not appear to be mining the private data of its citizens. What's currently in the heart of all the news is this app by the Prime Minister. It's a personal app called the Namo app, which is linked to the website narendramodi.in. Now that is a personal app, that's not a governmental app. So there are no traces or any proof that the government appears to be mining any information of its citizens, though of course this particular app has been known to ask for a variety of as much as 22 different permissions from its users, including accessing to the videos, the photographs and other information. So I think all that's coming up because India lacks any dedicated legislation either on privacy or on data protection or on cyber security.
Right. So Madhu Kishwar, we have, I guess, unwitting users of an app giving up more information than they think they agreed to, and it's all going to a third party in the United States called CleverTap. That's not good, is it?
You know, this whole business of privacy actually appears rather ridiculous to me because they've made worse charges. Forget this Namo app. Much before this, they made worse charges, and they even took the matter to Supreme Court on the issue of Aadhaar, which is a multi-purpose identity card that has become sort of mandatory for every citizen. Now, Aadhaar card does not ask for any more information, in fact, much less information than I have to give if I want a visa to travel to US or when I have to apply for a passport. And yet they're making an issue of privacy. Now, I just don't understand. It's not as if Narendra Modi, through his app, is saying, tell me whether you're having extramarital affairs, who did you sleep with last night, how much money you have in your bank account, and how do you intend to invest it? None of that. It's also optional. It's like when I join Facebook or I buy a mobile phone, I know very well that my life now from henceforth will not be under my control. So much of information about me is going to be available to multiple agencies,
right,
who they use information, you know, I mean, just
and
this
that's
mobile phone.
Okay.
Whenever I travel, it keeps track of
Sure.
where I stop over for a cup of tea, where I fill gas in my car, on a highway.
So it sounds as if you've, okay, so but it sounds as if you've surrendered philosophically at least to the idea that you don't have any more privacy if you have a Facebook account, if you have a smartphone and so forth.
No, it's not a case of surrendering. In my case, I live such an open and transparent life that honestly I don't care, except that I don't want somebody peeking into my bathroom when I'm bathing or when I'm sleeping and watch what I'm wearing at night when I go to bed. Other than that, my life is an open book.
So Pavan, okay, so let's get a response from Pavan. Pavan, why are you making such a big deal of this and the issue of privacy if, as Madhu says, it's not a big deal?
Well, I think the fact remains is that Indians have an expectation of privacy, and the very fact that any app asks you access to your entire photographs and videos itself is an indication of the fact that a lot of your private information could be potentially accessed. The fact of the matter is that in India, we are beginning to see an evolution. In the last few months, we had the Supreme Court declaring that the right to privacy is a part of your fundamental right to life under the Indian Constitution. However, with the absence of any supporting mechanism, people are all looking up to what the government would be doing. But if an app which belongs to as high a person like the Prime Minister is collecting a lot of information, that's suddenly got the attention of a large number of stakeholders.
Right. So, Madhu, when we saw what happened in the aftermath of the scandal, there were updated guidelines that now say that the user's email, name, mobile phone number, device information, location, and all of that could be processed by third-party services. So they added that in now, right? Isn't that an admission that they should have had it in there in the first place?
The point that I'm trying to make is this. Even when I download an app for shopping, say on Amazon, or download an app for XYZ, believe you me, one of the reasons I avoid downloading too many apps is because they all demand access to photographs, to this, that, and the other. They all demand access to my contacts. Now, either I say, so what? My contacts are public knowledge. There's nothing secret about it. Or I say, I'm sorry, I won't. And it's not as if it's mandatory to download the Namo app. I haven't, and I will never do it because I'm not in the business of chasing prime ministers and their doings or wanting this kind of special. So if you are concerned about your privacy, then learn to act more privately. People are posting their honeymoon photographs, their girlfriend photographs, their sex life photographs on Facebook. And yet screaming privacy. I don't do that. In fact, one of the reasons I don't go to Facebook is because the moment I open my page, I see people posting their doggies, their little kids, doing little tricks with their pets, or their honeymoon and their girlfriends, and the last time they ate a pizza, and I see their favorite foods. I'm not interested.
Right.
And so I even avoid actually taking a peek into other people's lives, leave alone gratuitously the other people peeks into my life.
Pavan, is that the answer? Rather than changing legislation, rather than tightening restrictions on the creators of the apps or the third parties, whoever wants to use it for analytics or whatever they want to use that information for, rather than that, it's about individuals sharpening their own minds and their own behavior to the fact that, hey, we live in a Black Mirror sort of scenario, so be careful, don't be naive, don't expect not to be surveilled in some way.
Well, in today's scenario, when India is undergoing a new revolution, which I call as the Great Indian Vomiting Revolution, where Indians are vomiting all kinds of information, personal, professional, and social, on the internet, I think it's high time for us to understand that no one strategy will work alone. A large number of strategies will have to work in conjunction with each other. So while strengthening of the laws is distinctly an important priority, having in place an adequate legal framework to regulate mobile apps and mobile service providers is another option. Yet another option is to re-look at this entire issue of intermediary liability. But while law can actually do only so much, it's far more important to create far more sensitization and capacity building, as also awareness amongst all Indian users. Now, Indians have been plunging into the social media ocean without having any kind of a training of what they need to be doing in order to protect their life skills and also their life secrets and other relevant personal information.
Okay, well, Pavan Duggal and Madhu Kishwar, it's been a pleasure talking to both of you. Thank you very much for joining us.